All right, I got him. The first ever paid Snapshot VR player, N0Talent. How are you
That's
doing?
right. I'm good, dog. It's a good day.
Good to hear. We'll definitely get into the whole paid deal that got you the switch from the Phantoms to Catastrophic. But first, let's hear your story. How'd you get in the Snapshot? How'd you hear about it? That kind of sort of thing.
Well, a friend of mine, he's like he's a film dude. He does like pictures, he's a photographer for paintball and does a lot of his stuff. His handle's Chase Wright Photos on Facebook. He doesn't really do anything anymore, but he had found the game pretty early, like before preseason. And he's like, dude, you got to try this. Like, I was playing paintball back then, doing whatever. And he's like, yo, you got to try this. Like, this game's amazing. He's like, it's the most realistic VR paintball game out there right now. And I watched some videos on it, and I was like, this looks really cool. So I picked up an Oculus, and I was like, what, 15, 16 at the time. And I was kind of young, like younger than I am now. And I was kind of playing the game, picking it up, and like it was kind of weird at first because playing paintball kind of had bad habits in game. So
Right.
trying to transfer all this stuff kind of took a while, but I ended up picking it up pretty quick.
Right on. So I know you played before. Do you still play paintball?
I do. I kind of had a little break period with the moving situation. Many people in the community know, but I've like recently moved where I am now, so I kind of had to take a little break from paintball. But now that I've kind of settled, I've started to go play paintball every Sunday again.
Right on. So how would you say that like snapshots helped you out there on that battlefield that we call paintball?
Um, the best thing for me so far that I can relate between Snapshot and real life paintball is I used to get really jittery when I would like get up the field, and I would like a lot of people, they get to the 50 and they sit and they wait for people to come get them, or they just play their life. But I would get to the 50s and I would just wild out. I would just start gunfighting everybody. And I couldn't get it out of my head like, I got to be shooting this guy, I got to be shooting this guy. But like playing Snapshot has gotten me like into that situation so many times that I've kind of calmed me down a little bit, and I'm like less nervous, and I feel like I'm more clear like in my spots, and I'm more set on what my job is. And I know like the best possible outcome most of the time because I've just been playing paintball, all week, and my brain's fresh and I'm just ready to play.
Right on. Yeah. I mean, once you get in the spots, I mean, I kind of did it when I was a younger paintball player too. You get up to the 50 and you're so stoked to be there that you're like, oh, I want to shoot out the whole team. But yeah, really, I mean, you get to the 50 and you draw all those guns to you, and that itself is like a job completed.
Right.
Good to hear that. It's basically, you'd say, field awareness. It's definitely increasing that.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the VRML. When did you join the VRML? I forget, like, if it was last season, and who'd you play for then?
I didn't play season 1. I played the preseason with the Dwarves, I think is what we were called. Either Dwarfs or Dwarves, one of the two. But I played with Evan, who recently doesn't play Snapshot anymore. Avocado, who plays with Redshift and Albafons, and I dare I even speak Eclipso's name.
R.I.P. to that guy.
Yeah, R.I.P. Eclipso.
That guy. Oh man. So this year though, you started out originally on the Phantoms roster, right?
Correct.
All right. So this is where the juicy details are coming in. You received a monetary proposition from the new team that everyone knows as Catastrophic. Tell us how this kind of went down.
So I mean I was on Phantoms for a good like month or two, and dude, now that I look back at it, I kind of look like a douche. But
douche canoe.
I mean, yeah, dude, it was bad, dude. So I was playing with like the Phantoms, and we were practicing like we were practicing like 2 or 3 times a week for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And I was just in a pub lobby with Merrick and Aiden, and they were talking about it, and then everybody had left. It was just me, Aiden, and Merrick like in this pub lobby, and Merrick was like, how much would it take? I think he started off as a joke, but it was like, how much would it take for you to leave the Phantoms and come play for us this season? And at first, I had originally highballed for like $100 for the whole season. I was like, I want 100 right now for the whole season. And he's like, I don't know if I can do that. So I was like, all right. We'll make some deals here, right? So $10 up front. It's $50 overall. I'll get to that part.
Okay.
$10 up front, and then I get paid basically for every win we get throughout the season. So that way, I get money up front so that I still get the money to join the team, and I have a reason to leave the Phantoms.
Right.
And then 2, if I have to win the games to get extra money or get the money to like actually get like the full set amount, then I am like, that gives me reason to, be playing every day and to try and win everything instead of just be like, yo, I got this payout. Now I can just sit and, do nothing.
That incentive to win kind of.
Right.
Yeah, I was my mind was blown when I heard this, and I just couldn't help but start laughing because all I read was something about McDoubles and $50, and I was like, wait, what's going on here? And then I heard that story, and I was like, oh man, he's blowing his salary already on some McDoubles.
McDoubles are the way to
go. Awesome. Well, I guess that's money well spent if you love McDoubles.
I love McDoubles, dude. Trust me, it was definitely well spent.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's working out for Merrick's investment. You guys are 2-1, 3-1, somewhere in there.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys are looking solid. What's like the whole like vibe synergy kind of going between you guys? I mean, I know you would hop in pub matches and all that, but do you guys like practice with each other often to build that synergy, or is it just kind of like you play when you can play?
I mean, so we've all known me and Aiden are we're friends like outside of Snapshot. So excuse me. We're friends outside of Snapshot. So me and Aiden have pretty good chemistry together. Me and Merrick, we've been cool forever. Like, me and Merrick have always joked with each other, been cool in pubs and everything. And then Cab, he's kind of like he's a younger kid, and I've kind of like I've ever since Cab joined the game, I kind of was like, yo, I like you. You're a cool guy. Like, you know how to play the game. We just need to fine tune some stuff and pick you up. And then our 5th pickup, Jigga, he he's a solid player. He's been playing for a long time. He's another cool dude. Shout out Ohio Ballers. We all like started playing together like in the Ohio dedicated when it first launched.
Yeah.
And we picked up Jigga to be our 5th. We don't really practice, too much as most teams do. I think it's pretty safe like bet to say that most teams practice at least once or twice a week. But we just we play pubs a lot, and we focus really on trying, now that the league has came around, we try and focus on making sure we get our challenge matches every week instead of doing like scrims or practices, because we think it's more beneficial to like get those points for the league. And it'll keep us like that's our plan, to beat you guys this season, honestly.
For sure. Because
I mean we obviously want to beat you guys like in the game, but if we can't beat you in the game, we want to beat you by technicality or by by like some kind of way of doing it. So we want to try and get that challenge match every week. Whether we're winning or losing our challenge match doesn't really matter in our eyes, because we're getting those extra points that some teams aren't really getting. I mean, obviously we want to win every game we play. That's just not a reality. We play a lot of pubs. We kind of, we mesh together pretty well. We all take criticism very well, and we all play paintball in real life. So we all kind of like, we have the fresh paintball minds, and we know kind of how to link some stuff together and how like teams should kind of be ran. And we definitely feed off of each other well.
Awesome. Yeah, we definitely look forward to playing y'all again, and hopefully, see you in the finals. I don't know how they're going to run the finals this year, because like last year, it was like 6 to 8 teams all season. And so I think pretty much everyone made it into that, like, what is it, the finals or championship cup, which kind of made the season kind of pointless. It didn't really matter what your record was because everyone got in. But I think it's going to be different this year, with what we have 16 active teams that we've seen.
Right. Yeah.
So it kind of gives you something to play for, to get those points. Kind of jealous you guys get your challenge matches. Can't get anyone to accept it. And it doesn't help. We only have 3 right now. I guess after your 3rd match, your MMR will show, and then maybe it'll open the doors up a little bit more.
Right. Since we're on the topic, now that we have our MMR, Let me make sure I'm not quoting something wrong here and pull up this VRML tab real quick. We should only have 3 teams we can challenge. Yeah, we only now have 3 teams we can challenge as well. I don't know why you guys aren't one of them, but
Odd.
our challenges like this week is drinking buddies, phantoms, and box to chop. So like that seems like a weird selection for. I mean, note that we're number one, right? Right.
Right.
Quotations, air, whatever. So I don't know why it would give us the ninth and eighth place teams, but it is what it is. But we only have 3 challenges now as well. So I think as teams start to get their MMR this season, I think we'll see it kind of leveled out. So I think the way that it's going to work is like the top like certain amount of teams are going to have 3 challenges, and then teams under that threshold are going to have more challenges so that they can catch up with the better teams.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think after the third match, once third matches are played by all the teams, it'll kind of open up the doors for more challenges to happen right now.
Right.
Okay. Well,
Agreed.
you also play in the virtual X Ball League, which is the VXL that I created, kind of OG X Ball, 15 balls a second, 4v4 random draw. How's your experience been with the whole, you get a random player, he could be brand spanking new, or he might be, a seasoned veteran?
So I would say the first time around, I got and this isn't to discredit anybody's playing ability or anything, but I wouldn't say my team the first time around was too stacked. We had me, John Cena, Juju Gons, and I don't even remember who our fourth was. So our team wasn't too stacked that time, which I like. I don't really like getting stacked teams for
For
a
sure.
street ball event and just kind of being like, yo, we can call it here. But so that event was definitely more of a fight, because we had to fight through a losers bracket that event to win that event.
Right.
And then the second event, not saying that, this one wasn't a fight either, but my team was relatively stacked. I drew Kato and M Franz, and then my fourth didn't show up. So we actually picked up this solid fourth at the beginning of the day. Eric, shout out Eric. He helped us get through prelims, and he did a really really good job, clutched up on some key moments. Lost Eric towards the end of the game, or towards the end of the day, sorry. And we got another fourth. We got Bihas, shout out Bihas, Braden Hastings. He played really well. It really sucks, for his team, because his team, from what I heard, had like, we played them and they had 2 players versus 4 of our players
No.
for like one of the games. So I mean, there were some people that were kind of a little butthurt that Braden kind of got, he was on a quote unquote losing team and got thrown into like a winning team and won the VXL. But honestly, I gotta squash the haters on this one, man. Braden's a solid player, and he got a horrible, a sucky draw, with having 2 players dip on him and not playing the whole event. So it really is what it is, and he played really well in the finals, and was able to win some key moments, clutch up some key moments for us. The VXL so far for me has been a pretty good experience. I just think the main problem with the VXL isn't how it's ran; it's that people don't dedicate. I always dedicate the whole day if I'm playing an event to something, and I feel like people don't do that when they see something. Like, even if something is set for a certain amount of time, you can never, especially paintball event. Like, come on, we're paintball players, bro. Like, when was the last time paintball players were like 100% reliable and did exactly what we were supposed to do?
Never.
Like, come on. Exactly. Like, if someone says an event's going to last 3 hours, you better expect it to last like 6.
Right.
Like, I always dedicate the whole day to it if I'm going to play it, is what I'm getting at. And I feel like if you're going to play the VXL, it's definitely a good experience, especially if you're new. It gets you like in with, there's a bunch of like good players that play the VXL. If you're new and you're looking to like get with some good players and play with some good, like some good guys, you'll definitely at least draw 1 or 2 good guys. Like, there will be some people that kind of teach you how to play the game and, kind of get, some stuff right with you, and, you answer your questions. And it's definitely the way to go. And maybe you'll get a win out of it as well. It's definitely a fun experience. And I definitely think it should keep, we should keep running it. There is some problems with people, saying like, it takes a little too long, and yeah, those arguments are valid, and we can change, you guys can change that in the future, and you guys take feedback critically, and you guys do well in your jobs. So, I'm sure we'll see, changes in the future to make it a little shorter, but it's overall, an enjoyable experience, and I'm going to play all the rest for the event lineup this year.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely. So the format, it takes a little bit longer because last year the community wasn't as large. So
Mhm.
when we hosted a tournament, we're like, well, we want to make sure it's worth people's time, kind of thing. And one event we had prizes, but that's another thing too. Like with the team swapping, it's a street ball
Right.
event. At the end of the day, there are no prizes at the moment. We'd like to get those back. I was kind of like fronting the prizes last year.
Mhm.
That gets pricey pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
eventually we'd like to get to that point, and then obviously it would be more of a, hey, the roster that you have is what you're with. But
Mhm.
I also think that is also an incentive for those people to stick around for that.
Agreed.
So, but yeah, we're looking at cutting down time now. Maybe taking it back to the OG X Ball days, where like you get a set amount of matches, you play those. Your win loss record plus the point spread is going to determine if you play in the semis and finals, and that way it kind
Right.
of limits the amount of time that we're going to be playing. We're looking forward to it, but we've been going for a minute now. Any final thoughts? Any words of wisdom for the listeners out there?
Stick to McDoubles. That's the important one. I do it every every league game. I shout out Kodak Black and D Savage, so I guess I gotta do that here.
Shout out. Right on. All right, man. Well, thanks for taking the time to hop on episode 2, and we'll see you around.
Yeah, of course.
All right, peace.